Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk to you today about something called shared space, which you will find out all about in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, every year in the European Union, 40,000 people are killed in road accidents. Over 1,000 of those are children. It's true that that number has been coming down over the years, but still, 40,000 people's an awful lot to be killed each year. It's like taking a medium-sized town and simply wiping it off the map every year. The reasons why there are so many people killed are clear for all. Usually they have to do with bad driving. People driving too fast, people driving carelessly, or perhaps people driving when they're drunk. So imagine now that you are the mayor of one of those medium-sized towns, and somebody comes up to you one day and says, "Hey, I've got this really good idea. Why don't we get rid of all the traffic lights? We'll paint over the zebra crossings. We'll remove all the protective railings. We'll take up the pavements while we're at it. In fact, we'll create an environment in which there is absolutely no distinction between the areas which are reserved for cars and the areas which are reserved for pedestrians." You'd probably think that that person had gone stark raving mad. And yet, that's precisely what a number of experts in town planning are now beginning to suggest should be done. The idea is known as shared space, and it was the brainchild of a Dutchman who went by the name of Hans Monderman. Hans Monderman believed that you should have shared space, a common space for all road users, whether they're cars, whether they're cyclists, or whether they're pedestrians. He believed that road control systems actually made for more danger rather than less. Take, for example, the traffic light. If you're a driver sitting at the traffic lights, you wait for it to turn green and then you go. Often, you don't look around to check and see whether it's safe before you go. The traffic light says green, it must be okay to go. Mr. Monderman pointed out that if there's no traffic light, then you're obliged to look around you first before you proceed. You have to check that it's safe, that there's nobody in the way, and only then do you move on. In other words, if you take away the traffic light, the driver is made responsible for his own actions. He takes the decisions himself. The traffic light cannot take that decision for him. These ideas have gone beyond theory now and are beginning to be implemented in a number of towns and cities across Europe. I'll give you just one example of a town that I know because it's near to my hometown in the south of England. The town's name is Ashford. Now, Ashford traditionally had a very bad record in road accidents. More than 70 people were killed every year. 2 years ago, in 2008, the city decided to implement a shared space project. They got rid of all those traffic lights, the zebra crossings, the pavements, etc., etc. And there are now just 2 rules which you have to comply with in the city of Ashford when you're driving. 1, there's a speed limit of 20 miles per hour. And 2, you must give way to the right. The results of this experiment have been quite spectacular. Last year, in 2009, fewer than 30 people were killed in accidents. That's less than half the annual rate in previous years. Interestingly, everybody is happy because traffic flow has actually improved. You might think it would get worse, but no, it's actually improved. And so everybody is happy. The pedestrians feel safer and the drivers get to their destination quicker. So, if you happen to go home anytime soon and find to your surprise that all the pavements have been ripped up and that all the traffic lights have disappeared, don't worry too much about it, because this new system might just save your life. Thank you.